It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies in theaters, streaming, and classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Bryce.
And we got the Merman. What's going on, Merman? Just tell me something positive. Tell me something that's going to make me happy.
Nice and sunny today.
You might need a microphone in front of you.
I guess so.
He's talking to his pop.
That's right. I'm talking to my soda.
So I'll just fill in some time while he decides to
Get his mouth
join the
on it.
podcast.
And
Yeah, I don't know. Weather's nice.
there you go. That's how you do it, Mur. I think that's enough from you. So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, thanks to all who've been supporting us. If you love our independent podcast or even just like it, I mean, come on. By now.
Who doesn't?
Exactly. Please like, subscribe, share, and give us a 5-star rating on your listening platform, or support us and join the Film Rage community by joining our membership at buymeacoffee.com/FilmRageYYC. If you cannot commit to a membership, you can still buy us a movie rental and dare us to see a terrible film.
Yeah.
And if it played in the cinema anywhere in the world, we'll watch it. Now, let's get to raging.
So in the future, we just got to make sure that, there's a mic in front of you before we start this.
Yeah, I'll try to remember that.
All right.
Is that it?
It's good.
Nice.
See, I still got 30 seconds.
There you go.
What amazing moment predict? What amazing moment
Predict?
Will he predict the rage or will he predict the mondo? Will he tell us all what Jim and Bryce saw at the movies? Here he comes now, better watch out, kids. He's singing and swimming to you.
And you.
Swim, Murray, swim, Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Swim, Murray, swim, Murray.
Swim, Murray, swim.
Swim all the way to our hearts, our little rage-filled hearts. Maybe in the ocean up north, like our friend Tom
Cruise.
Oh,
Good segue. Yeah. So, well, 3 movies at the theaters. We saw 2, and Bryce saw 3. Cause
I saw 3.
did you see this week?
Yeah. Well, not this week, but we have seen them.
Yeah, but like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I still saw it
Yeah.
in a cinema.
Anyway, let's start with the big one. Well, actually, not the big one, apparently. According to the
Yeah,
box
apparently
office,
it's not.
It's only second.
It was the anticipated big one,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it
thank-
went.
yeah, good.
Mission Impossible. The Final Reckoning. Or
Final
Dead Reckoning
Reckoning.
2, or whatever the hell it's called.
My God.
Well, apparently Bryce decided to see this without us at the
Yes.
exact same theater.
Yes.
I know, because when I showed up an hour early, I saw his car in the parking
No,
lot.
no,
I'm
no.
like, what the hell?
I saw it on Thursday, Merman. I did not see it.
Well,
I
you saw something
you
on
saw the
mine.
other
I saw
two.
the other two.
Oh.
Yep.
Anyway, you was there.
Yes,
He
I
was.
was, but not to watch that.
Oh.
But did you see it in IMAX like us?
No, who cares? I would have gotten some screen opening up on some of the ridiculous, stupid stunts.
that's Screen X.
Frickin' do. No, it isn't.
IMAX
It's
does it.
IMAX. The screen's regular, and then when it gets to the action sequences, it opened up a little
Sometimes.
bit. Yes.
Sometimes.
I know what it is. That's exactly what it did with Final
doesn't-
Destination,
it
which I
doesn't-
did see in IMAX.
It,
I remember
it doesn't
now.
open up on the sides.
No, it
opens
opens
up on the top.
vertical. Yes.
Yes.
Well, top and bottom, they open
Yeah.
up.
It was so seamless in this one, though.
It was.
Anyway.
No,
'Cause it was
they're doing it very well.
Because
when
it's
they-
Yeah.
real IMAX.
Because that was the whole thing with when Buddy was talking about Sinners. Like, I think it would have been cool.
Oh,
when
yeah.
it opens
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
And it was cool when it did that in Final Destination as well.
Yeah.
Like, it is a cool little thing. I
Well,
I
thanks.
do
We gotta
like
go
it.
back and watch Sinners again. in
Anyway.
IMAX. Oh,
Maybe.
sorry.
Anyways, what were we talking about?
Knowing how much Bryce loves Tom Cruise,
I think Tom Cruise is fine.
but
Does he?
doesn't like the Mission Impossibles. But I think maybe he found like a couple of sprinkles that he didn't hate in the movie.
Oh.
So let's maybe say he gave it a meh.
You are awfully optimistic this week.
I am
Merman.
Being
optimistic.
super optimistic.
And
Yes.
whereas Jim and I loved Tom
I
and the
do.
Mission Impossible,
I do.
but
Oh, good. There's a but.
I think
Thank
the
God.
movie probably had a few issues.
A
And
few?
not with me. So let's go meh on that one as well. Maybe it's a Mondo. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe it is.
Lilo
Maybe
and-
I gave it a Mondo.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
Another live action remake.
I thought it was
of
called
Beloved-
Lily and Stinky, and then when I asked for the ticket, they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, 2 for Lily and Stinky," and they're like, "What the hell is that?"
It's just like Sonic with like a CGI character and humans around it.
Yep.
So I'm sure the original was awesome. I never saw it.
I actually I watched the original.
So did I.
Just because I was like, because I'd never seen it before. Like I literally never seen that before.
Yep.
So I'm like, I'm gonna watch it and see what.
Aren't
this
you
is
glad
about.
you did watch the original?
I actually kind of am because I actually like the comparison that between the two.
Yeah, me too. Well, we'll
Because-
talk about that later.
Because
Ray,
I think
what did
there's
you-
something
This
to be said.
Podcast
on
is
that.
going to take forever.
Yeah, maybe.
Whatever.
I'm retired.
I got
soon.
time.
So yeah,
For a change?
double man on that one too.
All right.
Double meh.
Maybe a Mondo, but
Wow.
man.
Wow.
Then we got Friendship
Wow.
that Jim and I actually did see at Cuff.
We
and
did.
Bryce didn't have a ticket.
No.
So he had to see it this week.
That's a long story.
I waited 2 days and it was like
That
it's
was
sold
too
out.
long.
It's so
Whatever.
like candy.
Anyway, with the Ant-Man there.
You think they would
All
have
right. I know I didn't like it very much. I'm pretty sure you guys probably liked it better than me. So, what the hell, Double Mondo?
double mondo?
All right. Sweet.
Sweet.
All right. The moment we've all been waiting for.
Have we?
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Maybe not all of us.
Two-thirds of
Everyone knows I am a fan of this franchise. Well, anyone who listens to this podcast, and apparently Murray and maybe Bryce. I don't know. He doesn't listen to half the things
I
I
always
say.
think you're kidding because it's such a crap franchise. I think, well, you're obviously just doing a shtick.
No, it's a thing.
All right.
So the things that I like about this franchise are
Do tell.
many. I like the action sequences. I like the
Terrible.
timing and pacing of the suspense. I like the mystery and intrigue of
Mystery
the
and
whole
intrigue.
spy experience. Plus, in every movie, I love watching Tom Cruise running really fast. That is my most favorite thing about these Mission Impossible movies. If I could settle my boner every time he does his running, I would be probably in a hospital. That's what I want to say.
Okay.
So, in this iteration, I was very excited for this based on the last film, which I thought was Mondo, and I rewatched it as well prior to seeing this. Now, here are the things
You didn't
I liked
have
about-
to because you got a whole frickin' recap for 45 minutes.
Yeah, but I wanted to watch it anyway because
Well,
I
what if
wanted
you
to
didn't
remember
see
how
the other
much
7? Maybe you appreciate
how much
that
I
recap.
did, how much I did love it. All right,
Whatever.
so in this iteration, like I said, I was very excited.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Now, here are the things that I liked about this film. I loved the scenery. Seeing in this IMAX was spectacular and visually a feast for the eyes. And I mean a feast for the eyes. I loved the cinematography in this. I loved all of the location shots that were in here. It goes like every single country on the planet. So you can literally see every country in this.
That's great.
I loved the scenery. Seeing this in IMAX was spectacular and visually a feast for the eyes. I just want to say it again. I like the Inuit lady and her husband. You know, the
Awesome.
guy from the first one,
Guy from the first one.
who almost caught Ethan in his famous hanging stunt. And I laughed a few times at the things that were supposed to be funny. Now,
Okay.
what I didn't like about this
Better
was
be a long
how
list.
this was the Fast and Furious equivalent of Mission Impossible. How much I laughed at how terrible every single stunt scene was, and how they dragged out scenes from what seems like hours. I also thought it was predictable, and every scene, not just the big stunts, were completely unbelievable. They went from unbelievable physics impossibility to another scene of unbelievable physics impossibility, and full of convenience, or in, I guess, worse cases, filled with time spent on over-explaining or trying to get nostalgic on every corny single thing that happened. They could have cut at minimum an hour out of this to tell this hopefully final episode to this franchise I once loved. I can't even explain how frustrating it was watching this film, as I was either rolling my eyes or laughing at how ridiculous every single scene was, even though I got my favorite MI thing of all time. Not once, not twice, but 3 times I got to see Tom Cruise running really, 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 really fast, which I love. Watching a 60-year-old, it wasn't enough to stop this from being a horrible, horrible rage. I love you, Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise, the only true action star. But I now cannot say I love this franchise thanks to this last piece of horrible, horrible crap. I have some unpacking to do, but Murray, what did you think?
That's sad. I'm sad.
It was really sad for me. I hated this
sad.
film.
I thought you enjoyed
hated it.
Okay. Shall we play a game?
Saw?
The whole time I was watching the latest and final Impossible Mission, I kept thinking about the classic 1983 film War Games, where a computer takes control of the world's nukes and tries to start World War III. That's basically the plot of this movie, right?
Basically.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sort of.
Yeah, this AI computer thing wants to destroy the world and all the people in it.
But this one didn't have Dabney Coleman.
Or
No.
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah,
No.
who cares about Matthew Broderick? It's all about Dabney Coleman.
Basically, machines are bad, okay?
Man, machines are bad.
In fact, we should do the list this week. I nominate Dabney Coleman. It's frickin' mesmerizing.
No.
Sure, he's only dead.
Yeah. And he's also
Doesn't
not,
matter that he's dead.
he's not also
He hasn't made a movie in
mesmerizing.
30 years
totally
either.
is.
No.
Come on, 9 to 5. He was the best part of that.
You're getting us sidetracked. Murray's
Although,
got things to say about
he's
Mission
always in the middle of
Impossible.
my
Although I
reviews. He
guess-
always starts beaking off about stuff.
He's usually can't shut
Although
him
Dolly
up.
Parton was
Anyway.
kind of distracting.
I wish we
in that
could take
movie.
his butt plug out and put it in his mouth sometimes.
Yeah, that would help.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, well, in this case, we have Tom Cruise to save the world. So
You're the one that brought
so
up
you
Dabney
know we're
Coleman.
gonna get. No, you did.
Well, you brought up War Games.
Yeah.
Well, how can you talk about War Games without talking about Dabney
He
Coleman?
didn't save the world.
Matthew
So anyway, so
Broderick
you know,
did.
because it's Tom Cruise, we're gonna get ridiculous stunts, some Top Gun flying shit, throw in a little The Abyss and Hunt for Red October, and you get an awesome thrill ride.
Awesome throw.
We saw it in IMAX, which I firmly believe was invented for a movie like this.
I would agree.
Final Destination, we did not need to see in IMAX. I'm sorry, we didn't.
It was actually really good in IMAX.
I liked it in
Whatever.
IMAX.
Some movies
It
don't
was
need to be seen in
It was
IMAX.
really cool.
If there isn't a lot of action, I don't need to see it in IMAX.
Yeah, you'd
This
be
film
wrong.
absolutely should be seen in IMAX, even if you hate the franchise,
Bryce.
Yeah, I do.
The death-defying stunts alone make it worthwhile. Yeah, okay, the plot gets pretty far-fetched at times.
Sometimes.
That's a typical Mission Impossible.
But it's
for you.
not though, Murray.
It kind of
It
is.
isn't.
Kind
No.
of is.
Every time he's done his things up until this movie, there's always been explainability.
It was just more complex this time. Like
No,
usually,
they
it's,
just-
usually it's a pretty, it's a goal. You know what it is, but
These
this
weren't
time there were
complex.
too
They were
many-
just
anyway.
stupid.
If I continue,
Sorry, it's got me riled.
I know. My favorite parts, other than the stunts, was the way the original characters from the first film are weaved into the story. That analyst that Hunt tricked in the vault scene that got banished to who knows where, we found out where he ended up and met his lovely Inuit wife. She was the star of the film, by the way.
She was the star of the film.
That I'll agree with.
That complete dickhead at the CIA from the first movie, still around 30 years later.
Yep.
Well, and he's still a dickhead.
He's still the boss.
What is he, like 100?
He's like the boss.
Yeah, but he was like 50 30 years ago. How is he still working
I bet
there?
So that
He's-
would make him 80.
I
then.
bet you he's younger than Tom
I don't
Cruise.
know. I don't think so. but
I bet you
anyway.
he's younger.
Anyway, actor's Canadian, by the way.
Nice.
See, we can be assholes too.
Yep.
I did think with all the plates spinning in this film, we didn't need a few of them. The Gabriel character was basically wasted until the very end. Almost an afterthought after he killed not one, but two of Ethan's team. Yeah, spoiler alert, not everybody makes it out of this one. I'll leave it at that. Still, the locations were awesome, if not especially glamorous this time. The action was non-stop, barely giving the audience a chance to catch their breath. The runtime of 2 hours and 40 minutes, plus the 20 minutes of commercials and trailers, there needed to be a bathroom break.
There was. It was known as the entire movie.
No. You need to see this with a partner so you know what you missed. Didn't help that I had the large soda. I was debating about whether or not this movie deserved a Mondo. There were some parts I didn't like, and the plot was spotty at times. But based on the amazing stunts and highly entertaining supporting cast, Hell yeah, it's a Mondo. I'm surprised you hated it so much.
I really hated it because I loved this franchise.
And
I mean, I loved it.
As a side note, I signed up for Paramount at a cost of $10.99. I was going to get the ones with ads, so I thought I might as well just go with the extra $4.
Go for it.
And I tried to watch the whole series.
Yeah.
I started with the first one, and you know what? The first one wasn't that great. The second one was pretty bad, and I finally saw the third one. I hated the third one. And having never seen it before, I finally watched it. And, I mean, there's one scene. There's no way that Philip Seymour Hoffman would kick Tom Cruise's ass, especially not the shape he was in at that point. But yeah, that's what they threw it into the movie.
He's an actor.
But yeah, no, I didn't like anything in the third one.
Oh.
But yeah, when Ghost
I liked the
Protocol
third one.
came out, that's when I started liking the franchise. So yeah, the first three weren't great. So
I hated the first one and the second one and the third one and the fourth one and the fifth
Yes,
one and the
I know how
sixth
you
one
feel.
and the seventh one, and I think this is the eighth one.
Maybe.
I believe it's the eighth
Sure.
one.
Anyway, yeah. So I mean, I liked when they brought Simon Pegg on in the Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
okay.
Simon
Character.
Pegg's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, yeah,
moves it up a peg.
It's barely a Mondo, but it is a Mondo. It would have been a man, but
Well,
yeah, I liked it a lot.
Unbelievably, Jim has kind of said most
Everything.
of what I was thinking, except for the times he had like glowing things. But I mean, it's gotten to the point where it's just stupid. And yeah, you love him running, but it was so dumb. This time we got to see him running underground.
I know.
And we got to see him running on the surface of the
Yes!
planet. And we got to see him running underwater on a treadmill.
So awesome.
It's like, wow.
I could not
like-
be happier.
I was surprised that somehow there wasn't another treadmill on the plane at the end of it, because then we could have had him in the air running.
That
too.
would have that might have changed this to a meh for me.
This first hour and a half or whatever, the whole underwater thing, it was so freaking boring. It was ridiculous, and this movie gets so dumb to the point where they explain to him in the submarine. They go, "Dude, you got to be exhaling the whole way when you're coming up." And then what do they show when he's actually coming up? Him holding his breath. He doesn't exhale at all. He's lost all his equipment.
Yeah.
And yet somehow he survives.
Well-
it just gets so stupid.
Okay, but I want to add on to that.
Yes.
Because they said that no one has ever been that low underground.
Yeah.
And they show the ship go down, and then it goes
Underwater,
down even
yeah.
further. And then when he comes out of the submarine, he's like 5 feet from the surface.
Yeah, well, it didn't take long, did it?
I'm just like, what? What is actually? But that
was-
happened in every scene.
Well, that was the whole thing. Like, it was all stupid. Like,
Yes.
everything was stupid. Not
And that's
dumb,
never been
and
that
not
way.
fun dumb, just stupid.
It was really stupid.
So, anyways, it's like, oh my God, what is going on? So then and then you know what? I thought at least at the end there, I was like, oh, thank God.
It's
when
gonna
they
be
showed
over.
it, I don't care. Spoiler alert. He's pummeling to the ground to his death. There's no way he's going to survive. They cut away. And I'm thinking, yes, this series is finally over forever. Ethan Hunt is finally dead. I was like doing a little dance in my seat. I was so giddy.
And you weren't
and
paying
then
attention,
a
were
slap
ya?
in the face like you wouldn't believe. They showed the frickin' ground and you see this parachute flapping.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise comes walking over the frickin'
Yes!
hill. And I'm
That's
like,
right.
my God, are you serious right now? And then why in every goddamn frickin' entity of this do they have to get together in some crowded place?
Yes.
They don't come together and say anything to each other. They just nod from like 20 meters away
Yes.
and wink at each other.
Yes.
And what is going on?
That's the
This
best
is
part of
so
the movie.
Stupid.
That's the
Why
best-
are you even getting together in the same place? It doesn't matter. It's all just ridiculous. At any rate,
See, I like that when they meet up. I like when they meet up.
Mondo?
so yeah, at the end of the day, this
It
was
was a low man.
This was a low man. No, it was. I don't understand the appeal of these movies. I am sick of watching Everybody makes this big deal about Tom Cruise doing stunts. Who cares? I can jump off of stuff.
You can't do
Yes, I
No, you
can.
can't.
You can't
I can do
what-
anything
you
that he
couldn't
did.
do the
You can't even
easiest-
walk around your own house without
can't-
getting
yeah.
I
injured.
can sit there. I can sit there, hang on to a wing of a plane
No.
while the wind makes my face all flappy.
No, you can't.
The last thing I need to see is this 60-year-old man with loose skin with his face flapping all over the place.
He's not got loose skin.
Oh my God.
They literally pulled
This
his
was
skin so tight.
brutal. Every scene in this movie was just absolutely brutal. Like this, the whole thing, it was so boring too. Like so boring. And the stunts were like, what? Why is this thrilling in any way? This stunt does nothing for me. Who cares?
The stunts
You know
were
what?
not...
And you know what takes away from it? These stupid close-ups so you can see it's Tom Cruise. Who cares? Don't show me these close-ups. It looks worse. It looks so much worse than if you just use a stuntman and film it from 10 meters away. Because then at least it looks good. Watching frickin' Tom Cruise fumble around on this bloody plane
That was
does
awesome.
nothing for me. Nothing. It just makes everything look worse, and it takes away from the flow of the film because it's all actually really well filmed until you get these close-ups of Tom Cruise doing stupid stunts.
Yes.
And it just takes away from everything. It's garbage.
It's
the whole
so-
franchise is garbage, and this is the cherry. This is the cherry on top because this is actually the worst of all of them.
It is the worst.
And it couldn't. I'm just like baffled, and I don't think it's over, and that's like the worst part.
No, it's got to be over.
I don't think it's over.
No, because
why would they off him if it wasn't over?
He's-
And they left so many people alive, and it's not over.
That's all the nodding. It's
They
totally-
are. They
No, because they're not going to make.
They are coming back.
They're not going to make as much money
Hunt
as Lilo
will be
and Stitch.
back.
No,
Ethan Hunt's going to
he
be
will
back.
not be back.
I sure
And
hope you're right,
He's
man.
starting another franchise.
Anyways,
so-
this was a rage.
I feel like that whole tirade was directed at me.
No.
He kept looking at me like it's my
I'm
fault.
looking at both of you.
No,
it's
I
his
like
fault.
it.
I
It's
like
his
it.
fault for continuing to pump the tires on this bloody franchise.
I love this franchise.
I do
love
too.
it.
So they keep on making
I
these
love this
bloody
one too.
movies.
I hated this movie, and for me to say I hate a Mission Impossible movie, it was hard for me.
This was
'cause
awful.
It was horrible.
love
And I have to unpack.
Okay,
I
go
have to
ahead and
unpack.
unpack.
I have to unpack just a couple things. So the scene
His
with
bloody lungs should have
this-
exploded
this-
underwater.
Yeah, there's so many things. Every stunt wasn't physically possible
Yes.
in this. Every single one. Which, after the second one, I was kind of like, okay, maybe they won't do this for the whole movie. But then they did for the whole movie. The scene with Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames.
Yeah, Ving Rhames. Sorry. That one was horrible. And I don't want to put a spoiler in here, but that whole scene made zero sense.
Yeah, nothing.
Like
makes
the
sense.
fact that Tom Cruise is waiting around, giving it like it was like a love fest going on. It was like,
Well, that's
and there
okay.
was
They
so
just-
many of that
they just
happening.
show you that it
in
was such a difficult decision.
It
for
wasn't a
him.
difficult decision.
No, it wasn't.
Because in
Especially
the
when he's telling him to get the hell out of here.
yeah, because in the movie before, which I watched just before that one, he had to jump off and leave the thief girl,
Yeah.
and he didn't have any problem
they
saying
kill?
goodbye to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're preaching to the choir, mister.
Yeah, so it pissed me off because I'm like, okay, it's like they tried to put too much nostalgia into
Yeah, I
this,
don't know
is
what
what
they
they
were doing.
did.
Is that what they were doing?
Yeah,
All right.
that was the only big thing that bothered me.
Yeah,
well,
the-
not the
the
everything bothered me,
Oh,
but that
it's
really
terrible.
bothered me because I'm like, just get the fuck out of there.
Yes.
Start running underground,
Yes.
which is what I really wanted to see.
What you did see,
I did see, so
but you didn't see it as quickly as you should have.
I should have seen it for longer.
Yes, they should have had a more extended run sequence.
Yes, and less talking to Vin.
Done
I
in slow
can't
motion.
leave you. There must be a way to get you out of here.
This is an
Oh my
impossible
God.
mission. Okay, so
Now let's just drop him in the middle of the ocean, and there's the submarine. My God!
that was the one I really laughed at. Actually, you laughed at that one too, Murray. We both laughed at that one. But
Well, the fact that it showed up.
Just so dumb. Oh my goodness
It was-
gracious.
And
Oh,
I've never-
you're really lucky. Yeah, I guess he's the luckiest man on earth because there's no way you could do that 1 billion times and they'd never
work.
find him.
probably more like 10 billion
Yeah.
times.
My God.
All right, well, let's talk about something that brings a little bit more joviality to this podcast.
Yeah.
Lilo and Stitch.
Yes. Although
Okay.
I was calling it wrong. I was calling it Lily
Lily
and
and
Stinky.
Stinky?
Yeah,
Which-
I said, give me a ticket for Lily and Stinky. And she's like, well, what are you talking about?
This
I'm like,
isn't
Lily
Ren
and
and
Stinky, the Disney movie. And
Ren
she's
and
like,
Stimpy.
And she goes, Lilo and Stitch? I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Lenny and Squiggy, L&S.
and
And then she
Stinky,
like
yeah.
looked at me for like a full 15 seconds. Like, I'm
What
like,
are
so
you,
can I have my
stupid?
ticket?
What are you,
Did
stupid?
she call you an idiot? Because you were.
Yeah, you were a little bit idiot.
Anyways, it's the Lilo and Stitch.
Yes.
Got it.
Lenny and Squiggy, Laverne and Shirley, L&S.
Whatever.
Ren and
It's all the
Stimpy, Beavis
same.
and
Len,
Butthead,
Len
it's all
and
the
Stimpy.
same.
Okay,
Anyways,
so in case you didn't know,
In
the
case you
original
didn't know.
cartoon of this is actually one of my favorite animated Disney films.
no, it isn't.
Especially the voice actors.
Okay, the
mostly
voice actors are great.
because it's rated PG and has some scenes that at times were probably a little much for some Disney parents. I'm gonna say there is some stuff in this. I mean, he's a maniacal psychopath.
He is that.
This tale of an evil, destructive alien killing machine.
Kevin McDonald was good.
He was fantastic in the original. Getting exiled to Earth, followed by his Dr. Creator, and I'm putting in heavy quotes here, expert in Earth, to capture him, is a story of family, or as they say in Hawaii, ohana.
Ohana.
In the cartoon
Ohana
version,
means family, Murray.
it does.
I know that, Bryce. I watched about 3 different TV shows all set in Hawaii. So
And
I'm
they says
familiar with it.
ohana.
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 Hey, Murray.
you
It means family.
Do you know what mahalo means?
No,
you don't.
means hey there.
No,
Hey now.
it means thank you.
It means
Oh,
thank
there
you.
you go. So can I say Mohana for you two shutting the fuck up?
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Oh, mahalo. Okay, whatever. Okay, so he's met there with his creator, Dr. Creator, and the expert in Earth to capture him. Is a story of family and ohana.
Yeah.
Okay? No more Mohanas or anything else. In the cartoon version,
Moana's, that's a different Disney
One
movie.
is different.
yeah, Moana is a different Hawaiian film. Okay, so in the cartoon version, and I say cartoon lightly, it is funny and kooky and a great family favorite of me and my family. So I want to say right now, this film was not needed to be made. I've said it a million times already. CGI live action Disney films are an abomination to the cinematic world, to the original animated classics they are trying to, and I want to say redo, but it's not a redo. I still cannot comprehend why they do it. I mean, all the CGI creatures look fake and not at all like aliens or whatever they're supposed to be. It doesn't matter what movie it is. Anytime they put CGI live action in there, it just takes you right out of the film. For me, anyway. Yeah. I'd rather have it like what's his name?
I just-
Roger Rabbit. Like I would rather see it cartoon.
I
version.
agree, but all these CGI movies they're just cartoons to me anyways. So
Yeah, I guess.
you
it's
can call it live action all you want. It's just cartoon.
well. Okay, sure.
that's how I view them now.
But I can't get past it.
I
just can't.
understand I totally understand where you're coming from, but
Yeah,
they're all just cartoons.
it's poopy. So this does kind of, for the most part, follow the original story, except a few things. And one in particular is obvious to make it easier, I'm thinking, to not CGI-ize it, is the doctor and the Earth expert in the cartoon always stayed as aliens and didn't take human forms.
Yeah, I kind of like that they did that.
Yeah, well, I think that some of the changes
We're good.
that they did
if
were...
you're gonna make a live
If you're going to
action
make a
one.
live action film,
Yeah.
you're right. I agree with it.
Yeah.
I think the choices they made were good. I'm not happy this was made in the least. And for me, this would be a rage, if not for the fact that I think the story is another family favorite type film. The story is good, and I don't hate some of the small changes they made, as we've already talked about.
Yep.
So for that reason, as much as I rage about this film being made, the film is meh. And but given the chance, just see the original. Funny thing is, this one was the top grossing film of the weekend
was.
by a
Double.
long shot,
By
almost double. Yeah.
Thank God.
I haven't unpacked, but what do you got?
Who, me? Did Murray see this?
No, I didn't
No, he did
see
not.
it.
What?
He
I
doesn't
don't
see-
watch kids movies. Period.
He doesn't.
I don't care if they're animated or live
Unless
action.
It's got,
Can't believe you didn't go to this.
If it's got a
Unless
kid's
it's got
plot
Thor.
line or a theme, I don't go to it.
if it's got Thor in it, he'll watch
If it
it.
goes Thor, I'll go see it. That was the exception because that was Transformers.
Yeah.
I don't- okay. So, anyways, yeah. Lilo and Stitch. I'm actually going to. What you opening there? 7
7
Up.
Up.
Oh, grapefruit, zero sugar, 7 Up.
got
That's
new flavor.
exciting.
It is.
Or just pour the littlest bit in.
I
for me.
will absolutely. Everybody's getting the.
We're taking a freshman break,
a
apparently.
freshman break.
I just need a little taste.
I'm gonna give
I've
it
never tasted grapefruit.
Anyway,
7
on
Up
top
Zero.
of the fact that it was a kids' movie,
Nice.
it's a live-action remake. Although, having seen the trailers, I may consider going to see the Dragon one, just because it's got Vikings in it.
That's nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
7 Up Zero sugared
All right.
grapefruit. I
You
like
get it on Amazon.
Now
by
that
the
this
way.
commercial is
That is
break is
very
over.
nice.
Yeah.
I would.
So did he
7
finish talking?
Up-
Did
I
he
would
finish
drink
talking
this
about it, or
again.
did he start
7
talking
Up
about
Zero
it?
sugar.
Okay, so Lilo and Stitch.
I don't think he said anything really.
I am going to. I'm going to be a little bit different here, there, Jim, because I watched
What?
the animated one and I thought it was okay.
Yep.
And I enjoyed a lot of the
Yep.
voice actors in it.
Yes,
and
that's why I
I
liked it.
thought that the flow of it was kind of odd, and there was stuff that wasn't really shown or explained. Like I didn't understand how this giant spaceship. They never showed in the animated one where they hid it or anything. And I'm like, how could they possibly? And they do in this. And then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So they filled in some blanks for me in this live action. I'm going to put heavy quotes around live
action CGI?
because it's just a remake of the animated film, and let's face facts, it's still animated with a couple of live action people in it. You know, it's like a reverse Roger Rabbit sort of. Anyways,
Okay.
that's how I'm viewing it, at least. But yeah, I actually thought that this was better than the original, and I thought that the characters were more fleshed out. I thought that some of the stuff was given a little more time to breathe. I liked the grandma character being
Oh, yeah, she was
introduced.
great.
She was great, and the grandma character being introduced made this whole story make more sense because at least there was an adult around. Where in the first one, other than the social workers and stuff, there was no adults around.
Mm-hmm.
Here it made more sense, and like the way that it all comes together at the end makes more sense too. Like everything in this made more sense.
Oh, I
me.
will disagree with you a little bit,
Okay.
only on the parents being there. Like the boy in the first one, in the cartoon version, the original, is more of her boyfriend friend.
Yeah.
And they were like, you didn't know that. They had to develop that relationship, even though they were neighbors.
Yes.
But that was part, I think, in the original that made it more, I guess, shocking was the fact that there wasn't any adults around for her. Him, you didn't really get to know anything
you didn't
about
get-
him.
well, and that's-
but in
you
this,
did-
you
you
to your
do.
point though, you get more character development. But
and
I don't
it,
think.
well, and I think it makes more sense. Like it didn't make any, like that didn't make any sense to me in the first one. And there were a couple of things that, like as I say, they didn't show you where the ship was. They had some extra characters in the first one that they took out in this second one that I also think made more sense for me. Like you didn't need some of this other stuff. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I mean, I laughed quite a bit in this. There were some very funny scenes. It definitely tugs at the heartstrings. You can't get to the end of this movie and not swallow hard at least a couple times.
Yeah.
And it was effective. The first one wasn't as effective to me. I don't know why, because I didn't have that experience at all. And like to your point, you're always like, if the movie gets to you where you're all with me, where I get slightly emotional. With you start bawling like a baby.
Yep.
Then it's done its job. I got slightly emotional in this. I didn't get slightly emotional watching the cartoon version. So that's why this one for some reason affected me more. And that's not usual because, as you know, I am on board with why in the hell are they remaking these?
Yep.
Until this one, I'm glad they remade this one because I actually liked it better.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's now, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, this is a meh.
Yep.
But I liked it a lot, and I thought that the choices that they made not only made more sense for a live action version, but I actually kind of thought that some of the choices they made would have been in the original version because it made more sense to me there too. Now I get that the fact that maybe the original was had some little more adult themes, and maybe that's why some of it you enjoyed more, but it didn't flow as well as this one, in my opinion. I think that stuff kind of flowed better in this one. The story was more fluid. The first one was a little bit choppy, and there was stuff in it like I almost feel like the extra 20 minutes that are in this one maybe needed to be in the original. And I hate to say that, but I believe it.
Yeah, and see, I think I would agree with you. I think the 20 minutes, I didn't need some of that 20 minutes, and I also felt that like they had almost one point I thought they had too many characters, because in the first one they had just the one guy.
Yeah, but then we
who
got
was-
extra aliens and like the big baddie alien that comes down
like
and
big
yeah,
ones.
I don't.
You know what? For the reason the reason that this one stuck with our family, it's one of those ones that I saw with my kids
Yeah.
when they were younger, and we saw it in the cinemas together, and then when it came out, we watched it all the time.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
It's like ingrained into our family.
Yeah.
Oh, if you grew up with it,
and
it's
I experienced it for the first time laying in bed
As an
as
adult.
a 50-year-old, just watching it on my I don't even know I guess it's a 58-inch screen in my
so
bedroom.
small.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You must have suffered.
So I'm watching it on
Only
this tiny
58.
little 58-inch screen.
Tiny.
So, it wasn't quite the same experience. But honestly, I actually really enjoyed this. It is a meh. And I'm shocked because I thought after watching the cartoon too, I was like, and it's meh too, don't get me wrong. But I enjoyed this one a little more.
Nice.
I really did. And I am shocked by that because I don't think that I've given a live action remake
Anything
of one
but
of
a
these
rage, yeah.
anything but a rage until
Till now, yeah. Well, as I said to him before he went to see it, I said it'll probably be better than the last live action remake, which
Oh, it
as
was
we know
definitely
was Snow White.
was horrible.
Yeah, well, how could it not be?
Well, and
Well, you never know.
you got buttons to push, but I have one thing to unpack. So go ahead, press some buttons. I just find it interesting. Like almost all, like I tried to do a little bit of digging on their live action remakes.
Yep.
Almost every single one of them makes money back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Snow
Like-
White was iffy though.
Snow White might not have
crashed
made
hard,
it. Yeah,
but-
I mean
It
it's
will,
at the
though.
bottom.
Well, yeah,
It-
but it's going to be streaming on Disney, so they're going to pay to watch it anyway.
Yeah.
But no, it'll make. Plus, it's Disney; they don't care. They literally
Oh,
have
they
billions.
care.
They
no,
have-
they have billions. They
They
honestly
definitely-
I
don't
understand
care.
they have billions, but they still want everything to
Yeah.
make money.
Oh, yeah,
I get
totally.
it, but it's not stopping them from making them, though.
well, and interesting. Like I started
They have
when
enough bombs in a row. They could.
when I went down the rabbit hole of
Yes.
when I went down the rabbit hole of the checking to see which made money and not,
Yeah.
and the Avengers 2.0 or whatever we're calling them now, or
Oh yeah.
yeah, the
new Avengers,
because it hasn't made, I think, enough money back, so that whole cast may not show up in another movie.
You mean the Thunderbolts?
Yeah.
Oh,
no, they're
they'll
gonna be
show-
there at
they'll
the
be
end.
there.
That's some of the talk online.
It didn't bomb. I mean, it didn't make as much as other Avengers.
No,
but
I don't. I think
it actually made more than the Captain America did.
Yeah, but I don't think it made
he's gonna
enough
be
money
around.
back. So, you know what?
It doesn't
I guess
matter to them. It
We're gonna
honestly
see.
doesn't.
We're gonna see.
Well, I mean, they had back to back though on there. They had the Captain America and then this both
And
of them.
then they had Snow White. Thank God Lilo and Stitch came out.
but for the Avengers, I don't know why we're talking about the Avengers right now, but for that,
'Cause it's all
you know,
Disney.
you can't just eliminate all the characters every time the movie doesn't make because
No.
you've got all this stuff planned. You're gonna have no characters.
Well, where's
left.
our immortals? Where the hell are they?
Yes, bring back the immortals.
Yes,
Yes.
I want to see a superhero sex again.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of Marvel bombs, but they're still all going to be around for the final fight at the end. So
Maybe.
and we'll see how the Fantastic Four does.
How much are
'cause
they going to be able to
they're
pay
also part of it.
Angelina Jolie to come back as that?
Oh, she ain't doing that.
As long as Barry Keoghan's comes back, I don't care.
That world is dead.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That makes me sad. Well, they brought it back in that last movie, whatever it was.
Well, yeah, at the end.
Yeah, so they're coming back
It was an
somehow.
obscure reference, but yeah, that's what that's from.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was a terrible
Exactly.
movie. Horrible
That's
movie.
exactly where that's from.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I was hoping they were
we've
gonna
gone
have
way off
sex on
topic.
that.
What's
Yeah,
up?
well-
All right, well,
else
you
is
know
new?
what? Let's talk about our friendship.
Let's talk about friendship.
That's right. So, in this film, there is a ton of funny in this. I think that, me personally, I think that Tim Robinson is probably one of the funniest people working these days. And this is definitely his movie. Everyone else in this is his muse to hilarity. So,
Yeah,
they
everybody
work-
plays off of him.
yeah, they work so well off of he works so well off of everybody. I love him in his longer like TV shows that he has. I know we don't talk about TV, but that's how I first saw Tim Robinson, is the Detroiters, and that show is hilarious. He is a loner, loser, idiot with no friends, and his wife is a cancer survivor who hadn't had an orgasm in a very long time, which we learn at a cancer support group, which he also attends. She is also having an affair, apparently, with his knowledge, with his pal's boyfriend. There is a bunch of what may be known as cringe comedy that happens throughout this film, usually at Tim's expense, who plays Craig. He ends up becoming friends with Paul Rudd, who plays Austin, but he basically fires him as a friend due to his weirdness and social ineptitude. It goes on with Craig as he basically goes into a downward spiral. There is so much that happens in this that I can't really even try to explain. Suffice to say, this is funny. It's very funny. But the ending, by the time we get to the ending, I was kind of done, and it went in a bit of a different direction as the film came to an end. I feel this film didn't need to be as long, or at least as it felt it long.
I thought the ending was
It was
good.
only an hour and 40 minutes, but this was a meh for me.
Because the ending looked like it was going one way, and then it took a sharp turn.
Yeah, but I didn't feel it fit the tone of the film for me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's the whole point of the film, though. It's
Well, basically, he got violent at the end, which I didn't think was really in his character. But
yeah, I didn't really see that in his character either.
yeah, I don't agree.
other than the sucker punch, I mean, he's not really. He's a loser.
No,
but
he's not at all.
he's
but
not an aggressive person.
but-
He lets his wife walk all over him.
yes, but that's the whole thing. You get to your breaking point.
I guess.
You get to your breaking point, and that's where he ended up.
I don't know.
But the story before we get to that end
That whole scene,
I'm not saying the end scene wasn't good. What I'm saying is, it was like everything was getting on track for him, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of nowhere,
The wheels fall off.
he just
and everything,
it was like
Yes.
that didn't
That's
make
what
sense.
happens.
It didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it made sense to me.
But it was meh. I laughed a lot in this film, but I
remember.
didn't feel.
Yeah, the audience did too. It was a big hit.
Yeah,
It was a big hit with the Cuff audience.
That's right.
that's correct.
The audience I watched it with.
Oh,
Didn't laugh one.
I was the only
Three
one
people?
laughing. No, there was actually, it was surprising because I went to this at 12:50 in the afternoon on a Monday, and I bet you there was 35 people in there.
All over 60.
No, there's nobody over 60. What are you talking about?
Usually the 1 o'clock Monday crowd is.
because he doesn't go.
Oh,
to
let's go see a nice movie about
He doesn't
friendship.
go to Crowfoot. When I go to Crowfoot on Tuesdays in the afternoon, it's all old people.
Yeah,
Yes,
us included.
I'm telling you, man. I went to Crowfoot to watch that 80 for Brady, and that was like one of the greatest experiences that I've ever had in my life.
all the old people?
Yeah, watching 80
Who
for.
love Tom
They
Brady?
literally dropped. There was a bus that dropped off about 50
the
old
seniors.
people. I think I've told this story already
the
on
three
the
main
podcast.
characters
Told
were
it
all
too
in their
many times.
80s.
It was so awesome. They sat there. They all had their football jerseys
course they
on,
did.
and they all posed in front of the poster and got pictures before the movie started. I was in heaven.
Insert eye roll.
Oh
glad I
man,
missed
it was
that.
great. I want to be surrounded by old
So
people and
glad
I
I
watch
missed
all
that.
movies
Anyway.
every single time.
You are.
Yeah.
When we go to
That's
the
true.
Sorry, did you have more to say about this?
No,
man?
I got not. You know what?
Was that what
You
was
haven't
it?
said anything about it
no,
yet.
'cause I thought you were gonna go.
No, you're going.
Yeah, we saw this film during Cuff. Well, two of us did.
I didn't see it during Cuff. I saw it like 2 days ago.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's 2.
That is 2.
I can tell you right now, one of us liked it a lot better than the other one.
Uh-oh, Raggy.
Not
So that means-
exactly a Paul.
So you
Rudd
liked it
fan.
even more than him?
Not exactly a Paul Rudd fan. Oh, I like him more in
He's adorable.
in non-Ant-Man related stuff
He's cute.
because he's terrible in those movies. I've never heard of this other guy, though apparently he's a well-known comedic actor.
He
Never
is.
seen him before in my life. To me, he looks like a creepy human turtle. I look at his face, I see turtle. I see turtle. I don't know why.
Nice.
He makes every scene uncomfortable.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, mostly funny. Some of them, anyway. He did make me like Paul Rudd a whole lot better, I can tell you that.
Well, that's good.
I felt sorry for that poor guy, having this guy as a neighbor.
I felt sorry
barely
for
remember
I
this
felt sorry for Craig.
because we saw it like 6 weeks ago. I don't even hardly remember it other than I didn't like it.
What?
I do remember not liking a big chunk of it, I can tell you that.
But you love Kate Mara.
You mean Mrs. New York Giant?
I don't know what that means. What's a
Her
Mrs.
family
New York
owns the New York Giants
Giant? Oh, okay.
and part of the Steelers.
Don't you like Kate Mara?
She's all right.
Oh, okay, I thought you liked her more than that.
Useless facts with Murray.
I've seen like 4 movies she's been in. I don't know if I like her or not.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna give it a low meh. Like it wasn't a rage, but yeah, I mean,
go.
I didn't like it that much.
It was a high math for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie made me laugh a lot.
It did.
Paul Rudd was borrowing heavily from his Anchorman character.
Yes, he
like
was.
He was totally doing that
He was
shtick.
basically his anchor.
Yeah.
Well, the reviews that I've read said this other guy was basically borrowing the same character from his TV show.
Yeah.
So basically, he just
So you put the
adapted
Anchorman character with that character, and you get
there's
some
the movie.
gold.
That's the movie.
That is the movie, and it is so cringingly, uncomfortably funny throughout the whole thing. Every
I
time
was with you until
For
the last
most
word.
of it.
through a lot of it. It was
Yes.
It was definitely cringy.
yeah, and every time there wasn't much that didn't land with me as far as the humor went. The more cringy it was, the better it was. It made me giggle a lot. What probably was a little bit long.
It was long. At an hour and 40 minutes. It shouldn't have felt so long.
I thought the ending made sense.
It didn't.
But this was fun for me. This is one of those very polarizing movies, though, that
Yes.
you're gonna either just not like. I'm surprised Murray didn't give this a rage, because I thought you would have hated this movie.
No, there were a few near the beginning. There were a few funny moments.
So you're proving what I thought wrong, because I really thought this would be polar, where you'd either hate it or you'd really, really like it.
I gave it a meh.
You
So
did give
Murray.
it a meh.
Yeah, I thought you would like it more actually, but
Yeah.
because a lot of the audience loved it.
So here's the thing. I did laugh a lot. The comedy landed with me also.
Yeah,
It's between the comedy
funny
that I
parts-
didn't find
I did find some stuff funny.
and
but
it went on too long. It
Yeah.
just was like, this movie could have been cut 15 minutes out of this. Give us the cringe. Don't give us all this convoluted story. And then the ending was.
And what the hell is all that sewer
What
crap?
didn't make
Like,
sense.
Yeah,
the whole side story with his wife lost in a sewer.
There's where I have certain problems, because I don't believe that Kate Mara, with the way that she was with him, was just going to go
Yes.
into the sewer. So that's where
yeah,
things
there
fell
are
off
issues.
for me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed everything around
Yes.
that particular part of it, and because of that, I couldn't get around that part, like I was laughing hard at this movie. But that's the only problem I had with this movie, was that. But that was a big enough problem to not make it Mondo. Like, I can't make it Mondo. But I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. But that whole scenario just didn't
See, there
make
was
sense.
for me there was
Ridiculous.
a few of those scenarios.
Like, there's no way, like, you're trying to make a movie that's semi-realistic. Like, even if she just sat there and yelled, it's going to echo throughout that whole bloody place. Like, you're not going to get lost down there. Like, that's just dumb.
Well, especially if it goes under the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And they had
just
the whole
dumb.
town looking for her, and they
So
couldn't find
it's
her.
like,
Yeah.
if that's your plot point where
Yeah.
it just didn't tie in, like, that made no
Yeah,
sense.
it-
You could
yeah,
have
it
done
nothing to do
so
with the
much
story.
better. Than,
No.
so
So we got a triple banger? Is that
because
what
of
Apparently we
bad
do.
writing
Yeah.
in parts of it, genius writing in other parts of it,
Yeah.
it's a meh at the end of the day. I really laughed a lot.
They should make this a TV show.
But yeah,
Yeah, it should have been a TV show with Paul Rudd.
and then I'd never see it, though.
That's true.
But now that they've made the movie, maybe you will. Because you'll be like,
They're not
you know
gonna
what? I
make
can
this
take
into a
23
maybe
minutes
they-
of
maybe-
this.
Yeah.
But that's not what you get. You don't get 23 minutes of it. You get 23 minutes times 12
7 hours.
times however many seasons, and it's such a commitment that who the hell can do it? I don't understand how you can
Apparently
watch all
him.
these series. It's
That's all he
crazy.
did- That's all he did was TV.
Don't get me wrong. I watch a few series. I've seen Ted Lasso. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good. And that's it. That's all the series.
Start trying to
only
think.
one.
I've watched Stranger Things through to the last. I haven't seen the last season yet.
Oh, it's short. You should watch it before the new one comes out in the summer.
Yeah.
I thought they're done with that.
I saw the zombie one filmed here. The Last of Us.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
Have you watched
Eh,
season 2?
Okay. No, I haven't started watching it yet.
I started.
Why are we talking?
Yeah, why are we talking TV? Anyway, Marie, you know what you got? Buttons
Because
to
you
press?
started talking TV.
And then
You're saying
usually,
we should make this a TV show.
You usually shut that down. So
Well-
get back to
Yeah,
yourself.
they shouldn't make it. They
My
should
thing
make
was
nothing
almost
a
going to be about
show.
TV, but I changed my mind.
Oh, good.
Oh, well, I don't know about considering what you got your guys' reviews for this week. It probably is not a good idea, but I'm going to go through anyway.
Uh-oh.
This week I'm going to talk about Mission Impossible again.
Why?
Sorta.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, Bryce. Well, sorry, not sorry. While I don't really like movies about war, I do enjoy subs, especially from
I
Mr.
like submarine
Sub.
sandwiches, yeah. As long as they're veggie based.
Okay, I digress. The latest Mission Impossible had an epic
Little
submarine
lettuce
chase
and tomato.
and some deep sea diving
I like to
a
put
la The
spinach on
Abyss.
as well.
Why is he still talking about
I
food?
have no clue what he's
A
talking
little bit of
I
sub
thought
sauce.
this was my minute.
Yeah.
Shut up!
You know, the reason he goes on for 10 minutes is because you don't shut up.
Because he doesn't want to hear.
Yeah.
Anyway, here are some of my favorite movies involving underwater adventure, aka submarines. U-571 from 2000. All right. Matthew McConaughey, Bill Paxton, and Harvey Keitel.
That was a man.
An historical
Was
film
it?
about American
Yeah.
sailors in World War II that infiltrate a German U-boat to steal a machine to unscramble the Nazi secret codes. It did have some negative press, notably from former British Prime Minister Tony Blair,
That's
since
why-
it was actually British soldiers
What?
who were really responsible for the seizure of that machine. It was the British who did it, so they weren't too happy when the Americans took credit for it. But still, the film earned Oscar nominations for Best Sound and is still a very tense movie with some great cinematography. K-19 The Widowmaker. Come on, Harrison Ford and Liam Neeson with bad Russian accents? Sign me up.
Sign me off.
It was directed by Catherine Bigelow,
That
who did
was-
Hurt Locker. Is based on an underwater disaster in 1961. Again, not exactly historically accurate. Well, it was authentic as the accents anyway. Ford and Neeson play the highest ranking officers on a K-19 nuclear sub that they have to save their crew and avert nuclear war. Exciting film that gets more suspenseful as the tension mounts. Plus, Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Okay, The Spy Who Loved Me.
Yes.
Though technically my third favorite Bond after Brosnan and Dalton, Roger Moore was the Bond I grew up with. In The Spy Who Loved Me, a Bond tries to stop a reclusive billionaire who lives underwater from starting World War III so that he can create and rule over a new underwater civilization.
Nice.
His whole compound is underwater. It was so cool.
It was.
And whenever he got pissed off at somebody, he just opened the chute and
out into the sharks they went.
It was awesome. Nearly all the action takes place on either American, Russian, or the billionaire submarines. Plus, it features one of the best villains ever, Jaws.
Yes.
The dude had metal teeth and he was almost 7 feet tall.
He was the best.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, classic.
1954. Believe it or not, I actually saw this film.
Nice.
I think I even read the book back when I read stuff other than menus and entertainment magazines. Wasn't a big fan of Jules Verne, but this film had Captain Nemo and a giant squid.
I love me giant
As
squids.
a child, I found it highly entertaining. I think it was probably on Disney on Sunday. The Abyss, 1989. Back before he was creating worlds with fake blue people, James Cameron was a great film director. Since this is one of my favorite of all of his films, it starred Ed Harris, Michael Biehn, and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. It's about an American underwater drilling crew who helps the Navy SEALs retrieve a sunken American submarine before the Russians. They discover a mysterious alien presence deep at the bottom of the ocean. They were also blue. At the time, it was groundbreaking in its use of special effects and captures what it means to be in a confined space deep in the ocean.
Yeah, I remember it was one of the
Pitch
biggest
black, pitch
budgets
dark.
at the time.
Oh
too.
yeah, it was huge. He had this like huge tank that he shot in. Yeah, it was huge. Crimson Tide, Denzel versus Hackman. Doesn't get any better than that. Directed by Tony Scott, co-written with the help of Quentin Tarantino. Denzel and Gene Hackman lead an all-star cast with James Gandolfini, Viggo Mortensen, Steve Zahn, and Jason Robards. Film about a hostile relationship between a submarine captain and his XO. That'd be his second in command. There's mutiny, double-crossing, and numerous changes in command. Just to watch Denzel and Gene together makes it worthwhile. Okay, my number one, The Hunt for Red October. Okay, the movie that started it all for me. Immediately, I have not seen any of the other Jack Ryan films with Harrison Ford or the Batfleck. I did see a Chris Pine version. I'm not sure if that counts. And I'm sure John Krasinski does a fine job in this series. But for me, Alec Baldwin is Jack Ryan. Directed by John McTiernan, who did Die Hard, among others, and starring Sean Connery, Alec Baldwin, Scott Glenn, James Earl Jones, and Sam Neill. Horrible accent issues aside,
Sean Connery's accent.
The Hunt for October is a clever, witty, edge-of-the-seat thrill ride that makes the audience members want to hop on a submarine themselves.
You missed the best.
Plus, it introduced me to my favorite Kiwi, Sam Neill. Well, technically, he was born in Ireland. A few years later, he was being chased by dinosaurs.
You didn't list the absolute best under.
Because I haven't seen it.
Oh, well.
Talking about the Life Aquatic?
No, I'm talking. Well, that is also good, but
I haven't seen it.
Das Boot is the
Haven't seen
best
it.
submarine movie ever made.
Haven't seen it. Finally, an honorable mention to another Bond film, The World Is Not Enough. Though not a great film, did have my favorite Bond and the jiggly Denise Richards as a nuclear scientist.
That's
It
believable.
also had a great villain. No, not that annoying French
Why isn't
woman,
it believable?
Robert
Denise Richards?
as a nuclear scientist.
You've
Why
seen
not?
her
Have you
act?
heard her talk?
Or seen her act?
Anyway,
Seems like a smart
it-
young lady.
yeah, sure.
Probably.
Well, she married Charlie Sheen, so whatever.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
But anyway, it also had a great villain. Not that annoying French
Art wants
woman,
what it wants.
But it had Robert Carlyle of the Full Monty fame. The final scene was thrilling, taking place in a sinking nuclear sub about to annihilate, or the bomb about to annihilate everything. Of course, Bond saves the day, despite help from Dr. Christmas Jones. After all, Christmas should come more than once a year.
it does.
That's all I got.
Okay.
There, I try to be as fast as possible.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
Oh, my sweet, sweet rage. All right. So my rage this week, other than Tom Cruise destroying my love of a franchise that I've loved for a very long time, was I saw a movie on, I think it was on Prime, with, funny how we're bringing his name up already, John Krasinski and Natalie Portman in it, called Fountain of Youth.
Yes, I saw her on TV today. She's talking about it.
Yes.
That was a rage.
And I think it's some kind of cross between National Treasure
Yeah, it's
and
like an Indiana Jones
and
type thing.
Uncharted. This is by far the worst movie I think I've seen this year. This movie is horrible. The two of them have no chemistry. The story is completely awful. Like, you remember how much we hated Uncharted?
Yeah.
This
Marky
is 20 times worse than that. Like, when I say 20 times worse, I mean, I like John Krasinski. I like Natalie Portman. I don't like them anymore. Like, if this was the first movie I saw them in, I would go, how are these people getting paid to do something? Because this movie is horrible. They have an unlikable kid in it. Everything is completely transparent. This movie is so painful to watch. Thank God we didn't have to watch this in cinemas.
How were the special effects?
The special effects were horrible.
See, I would have gone to it.
Horrible, 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 horrible.
But-
Like, I'm talking like 1994 digital CGI. That bad.
But they must have had like at least one or two powerful scenes that kind of made you go, that was
No,
pretty good.
they had scenes that made me want to gouge my eyes out and put things in my ear so I'd never have to see and hear ever again. Potentially cut my tongue out. Because after seeing this, I didn't want to say anything anymore either.
So you didn't like it?
This is horrible.
I think I would have
Any-
liked it.
You know what? You should watch it.
I don't have
Let us
Prime.
Yeah.
let us know.
I'm not going to watch it.
But please don't. I'm doing you a favor.
I probably wasn't going to watch it anyways. Okay, so Monday morning I get up
Yes.
and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta buy some tickets for the movies today. So
Yes.
I buy my ticket for Friendship at 7:30, and I'm like, you know what? I think I can probably cut out of work a few minutes early. I can probably, because like usually I get off at like 4:45 on Mondays. I can probably get off at 4:30, get to the 4:50 showing of Lilo and Stitch. So I'm
Lenny
like,
and
okay.
Squiggy.
So I'm gonna watch
Ren
the
and
Lilo and
Stinky.
Stitch at 4:50, watch the Friendship at 7:30. So I get to work. All of a sudden, around 12:15, the person that's in charge of my area says, "Hey, Bryce, you want to cut some hours?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to cut some hours because
You want to make less money?
I'm like, whatever. I've been here 4 hours. It's
That's
done.
long enough for me.
It's long enough for me.
enough
So
money.
I'm like, but I got to do this contact lens fitting and whatever. Anyway, so I do it.
What are you
and
telling your life story? Like,
and
get to the point.
And then I get out.
He's building up
but
to
then I
something.
get out of there at like, the whatever it was. Anyways, so here. So
There's a rage involved here?
You gotta work early. That's the point.
So here's the thing. So I get to the movie theater and I'm like, you know what? Instead of watching Friendship at 7:30, now I can watch this 150. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch it at 150. That makes more sense, right? So I buy the ticket. I go to the movie. Sorry, for 12:50. I'm all confused. Anyways, I just barely get there. Buy my ticket. Of course, it's Cineplex. So unless you buy I'm part of their movie club.
Yeah, you have to buy it online.
So you have to buy it online to get the $9.99 price. So I pay $15.50 plus tax to go to the movie. And it's like,
$17.
you know what? It's okay. At least I'll have an early day this time around. It's all cool. So I pay the $15.50, thinking, I'll probably be able to refund that $9.99, right? Because
No.
that doesn't seem to be an issue. It's going to be well before the movie. So I get out of the movie. There's nobody at the box office. I'm like, you know what? I need to go grab something to eat anyway. So I go to the food court, grab something to eat, saunter back. It's like 4:30 at this point. The Lilo and Stinky starts at 4:50. So I got lots of
It's
time.
Lily and Stinky.
Lily and Stinky.
Ren and Stinky.
So I go up to the ticket taker there, and I'm like, or not to the box office, and I go, hey there, Miss Box Office Lady. I go, I got this ticket for 7:30 tonight. I want to refund it because I already watched the movie at 12:50. Not a problem, right? And she goes, yeah, not a problem. So I hand it to her, and she goes, oh. And I go, what oh? She goes, oh, well, you bought this online. I'm like, yeah, but it's still a ticket for tonight with your movie theater. She's like, yeah, you can't actually refund this here.
You gotta
have to
do it
You
online.
have to do it online.
Online,
And
at
I'm
the
like,
head office.
I'm like, lady, I got no phone. I don't, like, what is, she's like, yeah. I'm like, really? There's nothing you can do?
Nothing,
She's
honey.
like, no. I'm like, you can't give me like I'll rip this up. I promise not to come to it. Just give me a movie voucher. So do something for me. No, you can do it online though. I'm like, I told you I can't do it online. I'm like, by the time that I get out of this other movie, because I'm going to Lily and Stinky. By the time I get out of Lily and Stinky, I'm gonna get home and it's gonna be past the time to do that, and they're not gonna give me my money back. And she like, yeah, sorry.
You know what? She missed her opportunity, like most people would say.
Yeah.
You should probably have a phone.
Yeah, well, at any rate,
Grandpa.
So now I've paid $10.50 with tax
Nice.
to watch the one, and I paid $15.50
Nice.
plus tax. So
You paid twice. Awesome.
I paid almost $28 to watch
Sweet.
Friendship,
Nice.
and
go.
I didn't hate it, but it wasn't
it was-
worth $28.
Sure it was.
So my rage is that I paid $28 to watch Friendship.
You know how much we paid to see that? Nothing.
So that's my rage.
That's right. I paid.
And I'll tell you, it shouldn't be my rage because I was way more full of rage talking about Mission Impossible,
I know you were.
Reckoning Day, or whatever it was called.
You were scared
And
of me.
you were literally quicker talking about that too, because that
Yeah.
story went
That was
on
a
for-
long story
I
to
thought
get to the
Murray's
end
Murman
point.
Minute was long until I heard
It
you
wasn't.
talk.
I was talking fast today.
So, anyways,
My favorite 72.
I don't understand how
Only
Cineplex can't.
7.
Cineplex can't have everything connected. I mean, come on.
No.
If I did the same thing at Landmark, they would have been able to go
Yeah.
in and do it.
Well, now you hit
But
upon the-
Cineplex, everything's completely separate. It's like, yeah, I bought a ticket for the movie at this theater How can you not refund me? Like, I
You want to
don't
go to
understand
concerts.
the disconnect.
You want to go to concerts. You want your money back. Just get a phone.
Just get a phone, a walking
That's right.
around phone.
Anyways, that's my rage.
And now you hit upon the reasons why I don't have a Cineplex scene extra.
I
Card,
do because
whatever
we
it
watch
is.
a lot of movies. At
I just
Cineplex.
get the scene card that I swipe to get the points. But yeah, because you have to buy everything online. At least at Landmark now, they have one competent employee who can actually sell me a ticket with the discount.
You're saying that like it's gonna happen every time.
No, but I know who it is now.
Okay.
I just gotta look for her. But otherwise, I use my Landmark points.
She's never gonna retire.
'Cause I hate buying
or go to
tickets.
university.
I hate using my credit card to buy tickets. I shouldn't have to.
It's not like that Cineplex job is her dream job, and she'll be there
Might
till
be,
she
you never know.
dies.
More than that, one you talked to was probably what, 15?
They're all 15.
Yeah.
Rage
This
subsiding.
is run by 15-year-olds.
Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
Last week on Rage or Dare, the boys pulled from their God of Rage's bag of evil remakes with the 2008 Keanu Reeves sci-fi remake of The Day the Earth Stood Still. Well, Jim should be excited. Back-to-back weeks with his Canadian man crush, Keanu. Keanu as Klaatu. Keanu Klaatu. Keanu Klaatu. This week, it's Bryce's turn to rage as he again gets the full might of Jim's evil bag of mystery.
My turn? I think it's my turn.
Because
on,
it
Bryce.
was his turn last
All right,
week.
let's see how our little ragettes survived this apocalyptic end-of-the-world sci-fi adventure with Ted Theodore Logan playing a robot-like alien. We are all dust in the wind, dudes. And remember, Klaatu Verata.
Yeah.
When does Keanu not play a robot
Is
alien?
he done now? That was a long one.
Exactly. Oh my god. So, okay, you know the funniest thing about this is that I actually rewatched the original today.
1950.
I watched I also watched the original yesterday morning.
Oh,
But
did you?
I did watch the remake first. and
Yes.
I don't believe that I've ever seen the original. Actually,
I've seen the
so-
original before. I mean, it's classic. It's
Yeah,
classic.
I never saw
and
it.
the
and I don't know
original
why.
is so good. And they actually say Klaatu Verata Necto. That's
they?
where
Wow.
that's where it comes from.
Yep.
The original.
So
that's
the
what she
aliens brought
says.
the Book of the Dead over?
They did bring the Book of the Dead.
Wow, so it's all their fault.
That's what they were going to deliver. So, okay, so the first thing I have to say is that I really have a tough time watching Jaden Smith in anything. I really don't think.
Is he in this too?
Yes, he's in this. I think it might have been his first movie.
Was he
so,
3?
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah. So, Invasion from Outer Space brings a giant robot, Orby thingy, and robotic Keanu Reeves as we get a potential end of the world apocalypse, because we get the Merkin army who get shooty at things they don't understand. We soon realize the alien that got shot is none other than my boy Keanu under layers of alien skin like whale blubber.
It was gooey.
It was gooey-tastic is what you meant. All the while, there is a belief that this is an invasion of Earth. So we also got Kathy Bates as the Secretary of Defense, who thinks she can speak for the world. The military wants to keep Keanu hostage until they can figure out what the aliens want. Where, as our scientists, led by Jennifer Connelly and John Hamm, want to find a way to connect to him and help him out, and perhaps help him escape. And then we have an escaped alien on the run with no idea why him and his giant robot friend are even on Earth. Plus, Keanu has some, and I want to say awesome sci-fi alien powers of control, like electromagnetic stuff and alien science magic and whatnot.
There's a lot of alien science.
There's so
magic.
much alien science magic. I love. Well, there was alien science magic in the original.
Not as much.
Well, I know. This is Keanu. He likes his alien science magic.
Yes.
Who says he's a friend to the Earth?
He does say that.
He does say that. Also, all the while, even though the military already knows that the aliens are a more advanced species, they think they should attack them with missiles. which of course does nothing. You know what? The part of the things with this is that it really makes the Americans look like idiots.
It does.
So, being our current situation with their leader of their country, it is kind of funny. A lot of this was making me laugh. This really is a film that does not paint our friends from the South as being very smart. This is happening at the same time Keanu is kind of helping these giant Orby things do Noah's Ark samples, and where he has already told us he intends to destroy humanity because we are horrible, awful, planet-killing species, and to save Earth, we must be destroyed, which I'm fully on board with. So, Keanu, bring it on, baby. Start the Thanosing on everyone, but instead of half, let's just destroy everybody and save our planet, because our planet is ultimately more important than humans, let's face it. As we move closer to the end of this film, Jaden Smith, who had no point being in this film because he's a kid and he's annoying, even though the original had a kid who was not annoying, he was actually quite pleasant.
Yeah, he actually was.
I liked him as a kid actor, and it was a good... The story in the first one was much better than this. The story is kind of good, especially the depiction of the Americans and how they might act in this particular situation, but it's pretty in your face. To be honest, I didn't actually hate this because I do like science fiction films. My boy Keanu was in it, and he's very robot-y of his fine. He's like his most robot-y of all his robot-y.
Yes. Yes, he is.
But this is a very low meh because the ending kind of falls apart. It's pretty raw, and also because I really believe in the whole Keanu species of elimination and the scourge of our Earth. I think we don't deserve this planet. The sooner an alien race figures that out, the sooner we can get to making this planet great again.
Well, not us, but
Future
will be
The
gone.
alien. I want to make the Earth great again
There
by
you go.
killing all humanity.
Yes. You're here. Yeah, The Day the Earth Stood Still. I'm kind of glad I watched it in reverse order because, as I say, I don't think I've ever watched the original. I may have, but I would have remembered it because it's a very good movie.
So good.
So I watched this one first, and I can understand how someone who has a great love for the original would watch this
And be
and
angry.
just be angry.
Yep.
And I get that.
Yep.
But this wasn't that bad. It had a lot of stupid pseudo science, a lot of ridiculousness, but you just kind of went with it. This whole movie was more of a let's hunt down the alien movie.
Yeah.
They're all chasing them, and while the first one was more intellectual,
It was.
this one was all action, and the action was okay.
Yeah, because it wasn't actiony. It was just more.
It was just a
chasey.
chase. It was very chasey. At no point was I super bored. Was I annoyed by some of the scenes?
Of course.
Yeah. Was there some stupidity? Yeah,
Yes.
but it's a science fiction movie, and sometimes even in science fiction movies you enjoy, there's going to be some stupidity. It was not a great movie. Jennifer Connelly, I will say that she's always good, and
Yeah.
once again, she's
Thank
good
you.
in this. But Keanu Reeves as Klaatu was just... I mean, he was robotic Keanu Reeves, which... Honestly, you
No
put
one
this
put-
character beside John Wick, and there's no difference between them. They have the same cadence.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
What's your point?
My point is, I'm kind of sick of Keanu Reeves.
How could you say that? Go back and watch
hell you
River's
say?
Edge.
Oh,
Go
for
back and
crying
watch
in a
River's
bucket.
Edge.
But yeah, once again, I understand why people might hate this movie. I didn't. I thought it was meh. I will say the original. Please go watch the original.
Yeah.
It is excellent, and it is more about the human interaction, and it makes a little more sense because. And here's the biggest problem that I've got with the new one. At no point does the Earth stand still. In the first one, he makes the Earth stand still by taking away all the
Electricity,
technology, the
yeah.
electricity. So he takes away all the electric, and the Earth stands still. So the title of the movie makes sense. They never do that in the second movie. And then the ending with the killer bugs that for some reason will absolutely eat through an entire stadium, even though they're supposed to be killing humanity. They eat through the entire whatever stadium it is, but Keanu can go underneath what was it? There was this little tunnel. They went underneath and hid there. So these little bugs eat through an entire stadium.
Yeah, but
they can hide underneath this.
But he's controlling them.
No,
They
he
showed that.
wasn't.
They showed that.
He wasn't controlling
He was.
anything. At
He
any
was
rate,
Klaatu Barada Nick doing them.
that was all silly.
It was alien
And the
science
fact that,
magic.
and then he goes out, and then that's okay. My dog's eating stuff,
He's
and we're
eating
gonna
stuff
ignore
and
him for
knocking
now.
things over.
But there was a lot of silliness at the end of this. But once again, it was science fiction, and quite often I'm laughing at science fiction because it's funny.
There was
'cause
some
it's so.
funny.
But I didn't hate it. But yeah, the original is so much better. You don't have to watch this new one. And if you are gonna watch them in reverse order,
Yes.
like I did. Because if you watch the new one, then watch the old one, you'll appreciate the old one even more.
Yeah, you might get it
Yeah,
a rage because
The 1951 movie though was very very good.
brilliant.
I've watched it as I say on Tuesday morning, yesterday morning actually,
and didn't fall asleep.
and I did not fall asleep even though I was watching it at like 6 a.m. I liked it. Why am I reaching into this bag? What's going on?
Because it's your turn.
It's your
Yeah.
turn to pick.
I should
Alright.
probably hope you pick El Conte because I want to watch that again.
Okay. What I did pick is something that's probably not too bad. But your movies have been horrible lately. Checkmate from 2015. Once again, I'm finding it hard to believe that Checkmate was released in the theater because I don't know what it is, and I pretty much know what's released.
You don't know half of what's released. Half the time, you think you know stuff, but you don't know much.
I know a lot.
There's like 8 movies with that title. What year did it come out?
2015.
Danny Glover, Vinnie Jones.
Yep.
Danny Glover, Vinnie Jones, called Checkmate. Whatever.
Bank heist. It's a bank heist.
I don't believe this movie came out in
And it
theaters.
got 2.7
did.
out of 10 on IMDb.
You
It
keep
did.
on putting in movies in your bag that never got a release
This
anywhere.
came out in India.
It came out in India. This is your bag is getting more and more ridiculous.
Sean Astin is in it.
It is.
Nobody's ever heard of this movie.
Nice.
I think they have.
I don't think they have.
Well, you will be seeing it, so
You will be seeing
suck it up, princess.
I don't understand how you can possibly say this was released anywhere.
Do the research.
I'm going to.
Do the
All right.
research.
All right. Well,
Good luck finding it.
I can't wait to see what you think of Checkmate.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to Extended Film Rage family. You can find in our show notes. Thanks to Casey from the Nerdy
Only
Photographer
release
for the
date I have
voice
is streaming.
of Rage or Dare, and our God of Rage. Find us on social media everywhere at Film Rage YYC. Check out everything Film Rage at filmrageyyc.com, including our merch site for Redbubble and TeePublic. We always want to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please comment, like, subscribe, send us emails to filmragecalgary@gmail.com to see terrible movies to fuel our rage. But no matter what you do, please, 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 pretty please, 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 don't make us a rage. That's it for this week.
Yeah. Checkmate, released November 23rd, 2015, streaming.
There was no streaming in 2015, Bryce.
Yes, there was.
No, there wasn't.
Are you high?
I'm not high. Half those things didn't exist in 2015. You actually had to see stuff in theaters.
Yeah, no, Netflix existed in 2015, Murray.
Might have been the only one then.
Rage on.
John.
Rage on.